Okay, good evening, my dear students, and welcome to today's lesson. Thank you so much for being on time as usual. I hope you're doing great. Let's give your classmates 2 more minutes to join us, and then we will get started with the activity for today's class. Please remember to check the microphones once you log in because they are on, and we will get started in 2 minutes. Okay, so let's start. Hello once again, everybody, and thank you so much for being on time. I hope you're doing great. Good evening, Alejandra, Anderson, Andrea, Angelica, Bryant, Daniela, Jennifer, John, Joely, Sylvia, Stephanie, Judy, and Andres. Andres, I need you to please rename yourself. Remember the instruction I gave you yesterday. It is important that we log in using your first name and your surname or your full name. Okay, so Andres who? Andres Hernandez, Andres Martinez, Andres Parra, Andres Gomez. Okay, I need you to please rename yourself. That's very important for the purposes of the follow-up we make. Bien, muchas gracias por su puntualidad y asistencia. Vamos a iniciar. Nuevamente, gracias por seguir el protocolo en cuanto a los nombres para inicio de sesión. Porfa, Andrés, necesito que por favor se renombre con su apellido, nombre y apellido o nombre completo. Thank you very much. So let's start. Okay, yesterday we were discussing something about well, the first unit, and today we're going to start with unit 2. As you can see from the book, we are going to be working on these topics mainly during the second unit, past simple and past continuous, used to and would, childhood and upbringing, remembering and forgetting. And we're going to get started with the first two pages of this unit. Okay, so there is an initial question I'd like you to please answer. I will carbon copy it through the chat. So this is the question. What is human memory and how does it work? I'm going to give you about 5 minutes for you to answer this question. If you don't know the answer, well, you could always use the internet to find some information about it. And then we will be listening to each other. We will be exchanging ideas based on what you find. And then we will continue with some activities from the book. Okay, so what is human memory and how does it work? I'll give you 5 minutes and then we'll be checking together. Okay, let's start. So Alejandra, what did you find about human memory?
Well, I I did as Mari, and it is a super important part of our body because we can remember things that we need to remember. For example, an exhibition or remember something from the past.
Okay, Alejandra, perfect. Thank you very much. Ana Maria, let's try with you. Is it possible? You let me know. Okay, I'll try with someone else. Oh, okay, cool.
Can you please give me more
Yeah,
minutes?
sure. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll be asking the others. I'll ask you again at the end. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Anderson. Yeah, sure thing. My pleasure. Anderson, so what information did you find about human memory? Let's listen to you.
And speak about all information.
Yeah, shoot it. Go ahead. Why not? That's the
Okay,
idea.
I
For us to exchange
okay.
information. That's okay.
One moment. Yeah. Well, okay. About the memory and the tests, we say that photographic memory and talking about two person. I don't remember very well the names. Let me see. Stephen Wiltshire can draw details when he flying helicopter, and other person I don't remember very well the name is Daniel Tamek, can remember the numbers of number P, and talking about the ¿cómo es comparación?
Comparison.
Comparison about to memory of computers and human memory, and say that are some difference how the like how the human memory is messy and no very accurate, and the computer memory can be relation or connections between the information. So also the humans can remember the childhood memories when we are babies, and more or less that's I can understand.
Okay, Anderson, thank you very much. Yeah, I remember the examples you about the people you were telling. The guy from the helicopter, he flew over a city and then he would draw the whole city just by, having flown by helicopter. That's a good example of photographic memory. And we also have the guy who learned all of the digits in the pi number. That's what you were talking about. Yeah, human brain sometimes, human memory sometimes is messy and tangled, but it's more powerful than computer's memory. We just have to learn how to organize it and how to have access to maybe past memories that are part of the long-term memory, because we have long-term, short-term. We have memory that is related to the senses. So we have a hearing memory, we have a visual memory, we also have smell memory. Okay, so perfect. Thank you very much, Anderson. That was very enriching. So thank you very much. Now let's try with Andrea. Please, let's listen to you, Andrea Wack.
Yes, well, I found the information that the memory is a part of human cognition and helps people in different things like learning information, and it's the way that the people can remember one special moments, things, or important persons or situations. And there are different types of memory for different lengths of time, short term and long term. In the first one, memory lasts seconds to hours, and the second, memory lasts for years.
Okay, Andrea, perfect. Thank you very much. It was cool. Yeah, we have short-term memory and long-term memory mainly. And we use the short-term memory for those things that we need to do at the moment. Yeah, so it lasts for some seconds only. Yeah, like something that is fundamental to do at the moment for our survival. And then we also have the long-term memory, where memories from childhood, for example, are stored. So thank you very much. Now let's try with Angelica Sandoval, if you would be so kind. Please and thank you. Angelica? Okay, let me know if you have issues with the connectivity or something, okay? I'll ask someone else and then I'll ask you again at the end. Bryant, let's try with you, please.
Good night, teacher. I think that the human memory is the capacity for safe information in our brain. And this information is the way that we perceive the world through our senses, like features, like numbers, fragrance. On this way, I think that this is the concept of human memory.
Okay, Brian, perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, we can associate and we can divide or maybe classify our memory into our senses. That's why you were talking, for example, about fragrances. Now, let's try with Daniela. Please, Daniela, Sir, let's listen to you.
It's a psychological process when human can store thoughts and remember. It's like a code that our brains do it to have information. I think memory works like a machine, only that connection is through our nerves. Obviously, it's impossible to store all information because daily we receive a lot information. The really important to me is the most significant experience or some events depend on the situation that can to remember that information.
Okay, Daniela, thank you very much. It was a very complete and interesting answer. Thanks a lot for having participated. Now let's try with Harold. Please, let's listen to you.
Hi, teacher. Can you hear me well?
Hi, yes, loud and clear.
Okay, teacher. I found that human memory involves the ability to observe and record information, that human memories work in different ways. So this topic is related and how people remember things using different ways. And for example, one person can remember through a smell, others through flavors or images. And so each person have a different mechanism to remember a specific moment.
Okay, Harold, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, we all have a different mechanism in order to remember and connect links from the past to the present, how we associate them. And there are also specific neurons, that are connected to specific and particular memories from the past. Great, Harold. Thank you very much. Now let's try with Jennifer. Jennifer, welcome to our classes. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am going to be your teacher. We have classes from 6 to 7:50 p.m. That's the first block. And then you will continue classes with Professor Madeline from 8 till 9:50 p.m. Okay, so that's our schedule. Welcome to our class. So let's listen to you. Did you find some information about human memory?
Hi, Professor. Thank you very much. Yeah, I found that memory is a psychological process when somebody acquires, stores, or retains information. There are
three different kinds of memory, like short-term memory, long-term memory, and sensory memory.
Okay,
And
Jennifer. Yes, and sorry.
it is uh, this process occurs because our neuron current connections. That's the way that we could store and retrieve information.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's pretty much how your brain cells or the neurons connect with each other. You know, the axon and well, it was like tail of the neuron and the head of the other. And we call it synapses. You know, it's like an intertwining there in Spanish. Yeah, this is how our memories are connected. Jennifer, thank you very much and welcome to these classes once again. Now let's try with Joeli. Please, let's listen to you.
Hi, I search about scientists who have long known the recording of memory requires adjusting of connection, as you say, between the neurons. And we have like lost memories through over the years is because but basically neurons are dying, and that's it.
Okay, Joeli, perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, of course. This is because of the aging process, which is natural in humans and in all living, well, not all, there are some special organisms, but humans, we go through an aging process, which is natural, and same thing happens with our brains. Some pathologies are also associated with memory loss, like Alzheimer's disease, and not sleeping, for example, is also associated with early lost memory. So that's very important. Thank you very much for having mentioned it. Now let's try with Jordan. Please, let's listen to you.
Okay, memory is the ongoing process in information, ¿cómo se dice? Retener, como,
To retain.
no, to retain over time, because it makes up the memory framework through which we make sense of and take action within present. Its importance goes without saying.
Goes without saying, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect. It goes without saying. Thank you very much, Jordan. That is sorry, give me a second, please. That is a common expression in English that we use. If you like, please, everybody, please check the chat. It goes without saying. It's a very common expression in English to say that something is obvious, like in this case. Okay, Jordan, thank you very much for the information you provided us with. Now let's try with Luisa. Please, let's listen to you.
Well,
Yes.
memory has three basic functions. And first, it collects new information, it organizes the information so that it has a meaning, and it recovers when you need to remember something. And information is captured, processed, sent to the brain, and stored in different parts of the brain. So the process of how it works is so complex that a single memory can reside in multiple different parts of the brain.
Okay, Luisa, perfect. Thank you very much. That's very illustrative information about human memory. and how it works. This is indeed a complex process. Somehow science, neurobiologists, neuroscientists, and the other professionals that have studied this have unveiled some important parts of the brain, but not the whole mystery, which is really cool. Okay, Luisa, thank you very much. Let's try with Mayra. Please, Mayra Pinson, let's listen to you.
Human memory happens in many parts of the brain, and sometimes of the memories stick around longer than others. Memory starts with information that is detected by the sense, like hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling.
Okay, Mayra, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, we start to create memories based on the interaction that we have with the world. And how do we interact with the world? Basically using our senses. So that's why sometimes our memories are not so trustworthy and reliable. Some of you said at the beginning of this conversation, human memory sometimes is messy compared to the a computer's memory, but human memory is more powerful than the one from a computer. Okay, Mayra, thank you very much. That was cool. Let's try with Silvia Duran. Please, let's listen to you.
Bueno, basically, memory refers to the continued process of information or retention over the time. Human memory, a powerful mental process that has many implications on life and how you experience the things. The memory works are three main important processes that are encoding, storage, and retrieval. Creo, si no se dice así, recuperación, no estoy segura.
Yeah, encoding. What was the second one? So number one is encoding, yeah?
Storage and retrieval.
Retrieval. Storage and retrieve. How do you spell it? I don't remember. I know retrieve, maybe retrieval. Like this, let me check.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like golden retriever, you know, retrieval. Okay, yeah, those are very important phases in order to access memories and to find information here in our brains. Perfect. Thank you very much, Sylvia. That was interesting. Now let's listen to Stephanie Cordova, please. Thank you.
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
Human memory is the ability to remember past events. We can see that it happened in other times. Human memory collects new information, organizes it, and rescues it when it's necessary to remember something. However, sometimes the brain can selectively forget potentially traumatic situation as a self-defense measure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is a mechanism, a defense mechanism that our brains have. Some memories are painful, and so those memories are blocked because they cause us pain. Yeah. From the point of view of psychiatry and psychology, this can also be related to some therapies that sometimes are necessary with patients that have some psychiatric condition or maybe psychological pain. So sometimes they try to access those painful memories and try to somehow modify them to understand the reason why people are behaving the way they are behaving, or why yes, that's related to human behavior and behavioral psychology mainly. And this is indeed what you said, defense mechanism, because there are things that are better not to be remembered. I guess everybody has painful memories and beautiful memories indeed, but we try not to remember those things that are not so beautiful. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. It was really cool indeed. Thank you very much for having provided us with this information. Just a second, please. Good. Now, see who's next. Gilbert, let's try with you, please. Gilbert,
Okay.
let's listen to you.
Hi.
Please. Hi.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
Okay, so about the question, so the memory is the ability of the brain that allow us to acquire, store, and consequently retrieve information, and also restore this information about different type of knowledge, skills, and past experience. For me, it's so curious how some cells in our brain can store information, and also, and not only a few amount, it's a large capacity that our brain has. It's around 2.5 millions of gigabytes if we compare with the digital information. So it's a large amount of information that our brain can store.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you very much for the figures you provided us with. Yes, definitely, we can store a lot of information, more than a computer, and even terabytes. And I know that there are bigger, how can I put it? I mean, a terabyte is like 1.440 gigabytes. So we're speaking of terabytes of information that can be stored in the brain. But apart from that, there are bigger classifications than the terabytes. So it is said, it is claimed that the human brain is a perfect machine or a semi-perfect machine, because we, of course, have some issues regarding it as well as with everything in life. But it's very powerful indeed. So thank you very much, Gilbert, for having provided us with this information. Judy, let's listen to you, please, and thank you.
Okay, our memory is our ability to encode, store, and recall information from our brain. Memory is the process of taking information from the world around us, processing it, storing it, and later remember it when it's necessary. We have three kinds of memory: sensory memory, short-term memory, and long memory. Basically, sensory memory allows to retain information for the senses. Short-term memory is when you store the information we need at the present moment. And for the last one is preserve our knowledge of the world of when it's necessary.
Okay, Judy, excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, we have different types of memory, and all of them are important depending on the context and on the circumstances and situations we're going through. So it was great. Thank you for having participated. So this is what I was telling you before. Types of various units of memory. We have bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. So a terabyte equals 1 terabyte equals 1,440 gigabytes. But a terabyte is not the biggest unit of memory. We have petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte. So compare to a computer, you know, maybe I can share this link for you if you want to read it later on. Compared to a computer, the human capacity, the human brain, the human's brain storage capacity, it's better than all of this, to the best of my knowledge. So it's just to compare and for us to somehow dimension how powerful human brains are. Well, 1 terabyte is equal to, okay, 1000 gigabytes. I have read that 1440, but we have, look at here, petabyte, exabyte, and zettabyte, yottabyte. That's like the biggest one, you know. 1 yottabyte is equal to 1000 zettabytes, and one zettabyte is equal to 1000 exabytes. 1 exabyte is equal to 1000 petabyte. 1 petabyte is equal to 1000 terabytes. So the human capacity goes beyond that, you know. The thing is that we still have a long way to understand how powerful human memory and the human brain itself is. Okay, so it has been an enriching conversation. Thank you, everybody, for having participated. I think, let me check the chat, because there was a person who was not ready yet. Let's see if maybe we can listen to a person. Oh. I don't remember. Let me find chat. No, I think it was Luisa, but Luisa already participated. Anna, okay. Yes, let's listen to you. Sure.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Okay. Well, the human memory is an incredible system that has functions that helps to keep and remember different information that makes possible our interaction with everyone around us. It can be two types of memory: information that I want to remember for a short time, and other kind of information that you can remember and use during your life. And this type of memory keeps the most important experience and moments. Thank you.
Okay, Anna, perfect. Thank you very much for your intervention. It was very educational indeed. So well done, everybody. That's the whole idea of these classes, okay? To be communicating about different topics that are related to the topics that are presented in the book. Now, there is a series of videos that I'd like you to watch about human memory, just to complement this section, and then we will continue with something different. So remember, I'd like to share all the material, all the links with you in the chat. Maybe you can add it to the personal database of studies, but in any case, I'll be playing the videos from my screen. So let's start with this first video about human memory. I hope you find it useful, educational, and instructional. Let's start.
How does human memory
Just a second.
work? By Academy of Learning Career College. This model provides a helpful framework for thinking about how memory works. Memory can be thought of as having three critical components. Sensory memory. Sensory memory takes information from the environment through the human senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Sensory memory can take a lot of information, but information is stored for only a very short time, with visual information being stored for less than half a second and auditory information being stored for only 3 to 4 seconds. Working memory. Working memory is what you are conscious of or what you are thinking about at any given moment. This is where the memory work happens. People can only handle a small amount of information in their working memory at one time, We cannot think about a million things at once. In fact, we can only hold about 4 things in our working memory at a time. We also cannot hold that information for very long. Working memory duration is about 5 to 20 seconds unless we actively try to remember information by repeating it. Long-term memory. Long-term memory is where we hold all our memories. One goal of learning is to get information into long-term memory so we can use it later when we need it. We have a lot of room to store memories, but the memories we store are not perfect representations of the outside world. Long-term memory is relatively permanent. However, if we want to maintain easy access to a memory, we need to retrieve that information regularly. What this means is that learning depends on 3 critical processes: attention, encoding, and retrieval. Attention. To get new information into long-term memory, it must go through the working memory, and to get into working memory, we must pay attention to it. This means that attention and focus are the starting point for learning. If learners are not paying attention to course materials, they will not be able to process the information or remember it later. Distractions, text messages, notifications, daydreaming, are not helpful for learning. Encoding. Once we are conscious of information in our working memories, we want to encode the information into long-term memory. Encoding is made easier when learners connect new information to what they already know. Information and processes are repeated. Information is assembled, structured, and organized. It can help to think of your memory a little bit like a filing cabinet. It is easier to find things when they are filed away in an organized fashion. Information is translated from however it is originally seen and heard into something created by the learner. Retrieval. Taking information out of long-term memory and into our conscious working memory so we can change our behavior. Retrieval gets easier when you practice. The more you retrieve something from long-term memory, the easier it becomes. People who have been tested on material are more likely to remember it later and apply it than people who only studied the material.
Okay, and here is the second video, just to complement this part. And they will be breaking us some exercises from the book. Just a second. Okay, here you are. Let's watch it. Oh, okay. It's been removed. Well, it was basically about how neurons connect to each other in order to make memories. We have many other videos about it. So we can, for example, watch this one, which is similar to the one I proposed. So there's a lot of information about this on the internet, so we can always refer to a second one. Let's watch this one instead, which is very interesting indeed.
What's going on in the brain when you learn? In order to learn anything, whether it's math, a foreign language, guitar, or how to dribble a basketball, you need to create and strengthen pathways in your brain. Think about shooting a free throw. Know that feeling when you've got it down and don't even have to think about it? That's muscle memory. Here's the thing. Muscle memory lives in the brain, not the muscles. Your brain controls everything your muscles do, and it does this by activating specific neural pathways for each and every movement. These are functional pathways, neurons working together to achieve a goal. Say you're learning how to shoot a free throw. If it's your first time doing it, you don't yet have a pathway for that movement in your brain. You need to create it. Let's use an analogy to look at what's happening in the brain during this time. When you're first learning, your brain is like a forest full of trees and dense foliage, with no clear pathway between point A and point B. As you learn the mechanics of shooting a free throw, you create a trail through the forest. Now you can shoot the free throw because you've created that pathway in your brain, but you probably don't make many shots because it's so new. The pathway isn't very clear yet. In order to improve your free throw, you need to refine and strengthen the free throw pathway in your brain. The way you do that is through practice. Practice gradually widens the trail through the trees, turning it into a dirt road between A and B. You're starting to get pretty good now. You're making more free throws than not. You don't have to think about the mechanics as much. That's because the pathway gets stronger after each practice rep, and you've done a lot of reps. With even more practice, the dirt road turns into a paved road connecting A and B, allowing information to be transmitted at a faster rate. Now you're a 70% free throw shooter, and when you step up to the line, you don't even have to think about it. Eventually, with enough practice, what started as a trail has become a full-blown highway. Now you're a master, draining almost every free throw, and the movement is completely second nature. Scientists call this plasticity, and it's your brain's innate ability to create and strengthen connections between neurons. These connections are the path through the forest. Halo Sport optimizes this process by temporarily increasing plasticity in the part of your brain that controls movement, so that your brain can create and strengthen these pathways faster than you would otherwise. We call this hyperplasticity. When you practice or train in this state, you're able to write muscle memory more effectively, allowing you to get that much more out of your practice. In terms of our analogy, Halo Sport helps you build super highways of muscle memory at an accelerated rate. It's not magic, it's neuroscience.
Right, there you go. So to complement the discussion we were having about human memory, we watched those two videos. Now, yeah, brain plasticity is important. That's the ability that, or the skill, or the trait feature that our brains have, and that would pretty much allow us to learn all the time. Like, it sounds cliche, but our brains are like sponges that are constantly absorbing information. That's brain plasticity. And of course, if you pay attention to the video, we can relate this to the saying of practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect, and there is a theory about the 10,000 hours in order to be the master of something, like playing basketball, or even speaking a language is a little bit more challenging, you know. But normally there is a 10,000 hours rule that will help you to master something, like doing sports, like cooking, driving, and other activities and processes that little by little become mechanic. Okay, good. So thank you once again, everybody, for having participated in this enriching discussion about human memory. To continue with some more activities, let us work on the book. Okay, so we are on page 17, pages 16 and 17. That's unit 2 from our book. And sorry, there are some questions. So this happens because of inactivity, but give me just a second. So page 716, exercises 4, which is based on the reading, and the other one is 6. Okay, exercises 4 and 6. I'll show you the book again. Just a second. Here. So exercise number 4, read the text and decide if the statements from number 1 to number 7 are true or false. Correct the false statements, okay? And then exercise number 6, it says, write the tips for improving your memory. Are the ideas in the box associated with memory or forgetting? Write R for remembering or F for forgetting next to each idea. But let's do it one by one, okay? So first, let's solve exercise number 4. It's based on the reading titled The Secrets of Your Memory. This time, I will be reading the text out loud. And I'd like you to please follow the reading. So when I finish reading for you, you will have some time to answer these questions. Well, to do exercise number 4, then we will check the answers together. And after we check the answers together, we will be checking exercise number 6. So it goes like this: the secrets of your memory. Memory expert Professor Jemina Grasnoff answers your most common questions about memory. Number 1, why can I remember events in my childhood, but not what happened last week? We remember the things that have strong connections in our mind, especially emotional connections. Childhood memories are often very emotional. We experience things for the first time, so we have strong feelings of fear or excitement. Retelling events also helps to fix them in our memories, and interesting or funny stories from our childhood are often told again and again. I will continue with number 2, and then maybe I will be asking for some volunteers to read items 3, 4, and 5. Sorry, I think there is a microphone that is on. Please check Angelica, your microphone is on. Please check it. Thank you. So number 2, do some people really have a photographic memory? It is well known that some people have an extraordinary memory. Daniel Tammet, for example, can remember the first 22,500 digits of pi, and Stephen Wilshire can draw a detailed picture of a city from memory after flying over it in a helicopter. So these were the examples we were discussing at the beginning of the class. However, neither Daniel nor Stephen have a photographic memory, which is, in my opinion, interesting. They are good at remembering particular things for a limited time. A person with a photographic memory could remember every detail of a picture, a book, or an event many years later. No one has yet proved that they have a photographic memory in a scientific test. Now, do we have a volunteer for item number 3? Maybe somebody who wants to help us to read the information?
Me, teacher, Daniela.
Okay, Daniela, perfect. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Let's listen to you.
Is computer memory better than human memory? That depends what you mean by better. Information in a computer is stored in separate pieces. Human memory is stored in a different ways. Each piece of information is connected to many other pieces. That's why a particular smell can bring back memory of a holiday or a person. The problem with human memories is that it's messy and not very accurate. The problem with computer memory is that I can make connection between pieces of information. It isn't create.
It isn't creative. That's correct. And thank you very much for your cooperation. It was great. Now let's try with number 4. Do we have a volunteer for item number 4?
Me, teacher. Okay.
Yes, so Gilbert or Angelica?
Go, Angelica.
Okay, Angelica. And Gilbert, maybe you can help us with number 5? Would it be okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you to the both of you for your cooperation.
Okay, thank you. I'm 24. I'm 24. Is my memory getting worse? Not yet, but I will do some. Our memory reaches its full power at the age of 25. At the point we can remember up to 2,000 pieces
200?
of information. 200 pieces of information a second. After this age, however, the brain starts to get smaller. By the age of 40, we are losing 1,000 brain cells every day. By middle age, our memory is significantly worse than when we were young.
Okay, Angelica, perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a tremendous amount of brain cells that are lost on a daily basis. Of course, we have millions of them, but this is a big number, you know? Great. Let's listen to number 5, please. Thank you.
Okay, it is possible to remember early childhood. Scientists used to believe that it was impossible to remember very early childhood, but recent research shows that babies are much cleverer. I don't know how to say it, cleverer.
Babies are much cleverer
than we previously thought. Some people really can remember being a baby, others, however, remember nothing before the age of 5 or even 10.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you very much for your cooperation. Yeah, actually, I was reading something the other day about a medical condition in which people can remember things even from when they were in the mother's womb. I do not remember the name of the pathology, but while you work on this exercise, maybe I'll try to find the information online. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for having helped us with this reading. Now, the idea, like I told you some minutes ago, is for you to decide if the statements are true or false. Please correct the false statements. I think I can arrange some groups. You will have some time to answer these questions, and then we will go back to the main session. We will be exchanging we will be comparing and contrasting the information. So yes, I will make some groups. You will be working on groups of 3 and 4 people. So please join your session, and then we will be discussing the answers together. Okay, remember exercise number 4, page 16. Decide if the statements from 1 to number 7 based on the text are true or false. Please join the session. Gilbert, could you possibly join your session? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hi, tell me, what's your question?
Teacher, Jennifer, don't have the book, so I need to share my screen, but I
Okay.
can't.
Yeah. Can you try now?
Wait. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for letting me know. Jennifer, I will ask about the your access to the book. Okay, don't worry, you will have access in due time.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Sure thing, my pleasure.
Hello?
Okay, let's wait for everybody to go back to the main session, and then we will check the solution to the exercise together. I don't know what happened to the rest of the people. Okay. Okay, cool. Great. So let's check the answers together. You have some time to read the text if necessary and to check and decide whether the statements are true or false. So, hello, there is a microphone that is on. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to someone else, but remember to check the microphones. Number 4. So read the text again and decide if the statements are true or false. Correct the false statements. Number 1. We remember certain events in our childhood because we felt strongly about them at the time. Is it true or false?
It's true.
Okay, that's correct. Thank you. Number 2. When we tell a story many times, we forget important details. Is it true or false?
False.
False.
Okay, so what's the correct answer in this case?
When we tell a story many times, we can remember better than the important details because our memory is exercise. Exercising.
Exercise, that's correct. Sorry, I didn't see your name. But yeah, that's the answer. It's actually the other way around. So thank you very much. I didn't get to see your name. Sorry, but thank you. That's correct. 3. Stephen Wiltshire never forgets anything. True or false?
False.
So what's the correct statement then? Or the correct answer?
If Wiltshire remember something for limit time.
For limited time. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Number 4. Scientists have proved that some people have a photographic memory.
It's false.
That's actually false. What's the explanation?
Scientists haven't proved that some people have a photographic memory.
It hasn't been proved in scientific grounds. Perfect. Thank you very much. 5. Our brain stores each piece of information separately.
True.
I don't know. You tell me.
It's false. It's false because it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. Computers store each piece of information separately. Human brains, it's the opposite. It's actually the other way around. Perfect. Thank you. 6. Our memory starts to get worse in middle age.
It's false. Our memory starts to get worse after the age of 25 and is significantly worse by middle age.
That is correct. Perfect. Thank you very much, Jordan. 7. It is impossible to remember anything accurately before the age of 5.
False.
That is false. What's the correct statement in this case or the explanation?
It's possible to remember anything accurately before the age of 5.
Some people have access to those memories from a very early age. I was trying to find the name of the medical condition I told you about, but I didn't find anything. Maybe I will continue later. Thank you very much, everybody, for having taken the time and for having participated in these activities so actively. Now, let's go to exercise number 6. Read the tips for improving your memory. Are the ideas in the box associated with remembering or forgetting? Write R for remembering or F for forgetting next to each idea. So we have doing crossword puzzles, lack of sleep, doing new things, imagining strange pictures, strange pictures, short regular revision, oxygen going to your brain, and asking yourself questions. These are the 7 tips. So 7 tips for improving your memory. Number 1, sleep well. If we don't sleep properly, we lose many of our memories. Anybody for number 2, please? Thank you. Do we have a volunteer? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do physical exercise. When you exercise, more oxygen goes to your brain, and that makes your memory work better.
Okay, Anderson, thank you very much for your cooperation. Number 3, anybody? Please and thank you.
Yes. Do mental exercise. It is important to exercise your brain just like your body. New activities are more challenging than familiar ones.
Perfect, Sylvia. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Anybody for number 4, please? Thank you.
Be interested. Ask yourself questions about what you are learning. We learn better if we are interested.
Okay, Luisa, thank you. That is correct. When we are interested in something, it's easier for us to learn. That's why meaningful learning is so important when it comes to educational grounds. 5, anybody for number 5, please?
Keep review information regularly rather than trying to remember it all at once.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you very much for your cooperation. Number 6, please. Thank you.
Have a cup of coffee. Caffeine, like exercise, sends oxygen to your brain and helps you concentrate.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you. Is there a volunteer for number 7?
For a mental picture, for example, if you want to remember the name John Keys, imagine his face with a big key on it. The stranger the picture, that the better.
Perfect, Daniela. Thanks a lot for your cooperation. And once again, many thanks everybody for having helped us with these tips. Now, write R for remembering or F for forgetting next to each idea. What about doing crossword puzzles? R or F?
R.
R. Lack of sleep.
F.
R or F. Definitely F. Doing new things.
R.
That's R. It helps us with creativity and takes us out of our comfort zone. Whenever we go out of our comfort zone, we learn new things. Okay, so this is definitely R. Imagining strange pictures, like John Keys.
R.
That's R. Short regular revision.
Oh, F.
F.
R.
You sure it's F? Short regular revision.
R.
That's R.
R.
That's R. Okay. Oxygen going to your brain.
R.
That's R. And asking yourself questions.
R.
That's also R. Okay, great. So again, doing crossword puzzles, R. Lack of sleep, F. Doing new things, R. Imagining strange pictures, R. Short regular revision, R. Well, all of them are R. The only one that is associated with a loss of memory, it's or forgetting, is lack of sleep. Yeah, it's very important for people to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. Good. So thank you everybody for having participated. You have been doing a great job, and that's the idea of these classes, for us to participate all the time. Now, the other thing we are going to discuss here, it's past simple and past continuous. But let me check something. Oh, I cannot. Just a second. Okay. We cannot continue with past simple and past continuous because that is something you're going to be discussing in the second block of classes. But don't worry. Now, here are some questions that I'd like you to answer, okay? To continue talking about human memory. What is the most powerful memory you have? Number, tell us about it. Number 2, what is the happiest memory you have? Tell us about it. Okay. So for now, let's discuss these 2 questions. This is going to be done individually. I'm going to give you some minutes for you to answer those 2 questions. Again, after some minutes, we will listen to each other, and then we will continue with some more activities based on human memory. So again, what is the most powerful memory you have? Tell us about it. And what is the happiest memory you have? Tell us about it. I didn't want to include the question, what is the saddest memory that you have? But if you feel like talking maybe about a sad memory or amazing or exciting, you can modify the question number 2. I mean, I use the happiest, but it could be to be the scariest, it could be the most exciting, it could be the most, the strangest, and so on. So the second one, you can modify a little bit if you like. So please take some minutes to answer these 2 questions individually, and then we will be listening to each other. If you have questions, I'm going to be right here. So let me know, okay? I'll give you 5 minutes, give or take a few, and then we will be listening to each other.
Regarding the first question, the memory could be a sad memory or not?
Yes, of course. Powerful memories are not always associated with happy memories. It could be a sad memory too.
Okay.
Okay, sure thing. Okay, I think we can listen to each other now. Let's start. Alejandra, you're the first one. Let's try with you, please, and thank you.
Okay, my powerful mind is the death of my father, because at that time I was 13 years old, and to know that there were so many important moments to share with him, it's something very hard for me. So is that mine? And the have the happen have what the happening in mine is to inner things my own. For example, a scholarship at the Colombo American School, and to be able to participate in this course.
Okay, Alejandra, thank you very much. You did an excellent job there. And thank you for having told us about these important situations in your life. Thank you very much. Now let's try with Anna, please.
The second question, the happiest memory.
The two questions, please. Number one and number two.
Okay, number one, I think the most powerful memory I have is that I can remember some details or information many years ago, but it's funny because I don't remember that things in that part of time. I mean, in the time that the things are happening. And the happiest memory that I have different happiest memories, but one of these is when I was a child. I think, I don't know, I was maybe 7 years old. I was on travel with my family, and one of our plans was to ride a horse, and I still remember the place. Thank you.
Okay, Anna, thank you very much for having participated. Now let's try with Anderson, if you would be so kind, please and thank you.
Okay. The most powerful memory. I remember pretty good the 22 of November 2010. That day was the birthday from my mom, and when we was in party, I started to play with the balloons, bursting them, and my cousin took a knife to roast a balloon in my hand, and the knife did cut my skin from hand. And I remember very well see the own muscles, and that's very shocking for me now. And my happiest memory, it was when I knew the fossil of a plesiosaur, and I can see that bones made of stones. It's a pretty interesting process. I knew about fossilization before, no, excuse me, after, that's two small parts, four small parts, but never with a whole body. So it was very interesting for me. I'm happy too.
Okay, Anderson, thank you very much. Where was it? Maybe in Villa de Leyva or something. I know they have a paleontology center there. So where did you learn to do that? The fossilization process with a plesiosaurus. Where was it?
And yes, it was here, and ¿cómo se llama este pueblo? It's near to Barichara, but I don't remember the name. Well, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, Wane?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there are lots of fossils there. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Anderson. How's your hand, by the way? Is it okay?
My hand, very well.
Okay, and functional, I expect, because you're the artist, right? You're the teacher.
Yes, yes, yes. It was very traumatic for me because I can't neither write, neither drawing, and so
Well,
you
good thing
can.
that you're, yeah, of course, I can imagine. But the good thing is that your hand is okay. I'm happy to know that. Good,
Yes.
thank you. It was great. Thank you so much for participating. Andrea, let's listen to you, please. Thank you.
Yes, well, the most powerful memory I have is when I was accepted to the university. Is it is something that represents a lot of importance for me and my future. Many times I did not believe it was possible, so it was important for me. And the happiest memory is when I was a child. I played most of the time with my cousin and shared time with my grandparents. I was a really a happy childhood.
Okay, Andrea, thank you very much for your participation. Now let's try with Angelica. Please, let's listen to you.
Okay. My happiest memory was I went. Sorry, my happiest memory isn't only one. Actually, it's a memory set. It was when I was a child and I went to visit my grandmother and spend my holidays with her house. So I remember that we're going to the park in the morning. Then we go to church, and then she was give me away a delicious sweet. And in the afternoon, my cousin arrived, and we prayed in the afternoon, and I memory because I love her, and this moment she's not going with me. And then other memory was when I was a child, and my it's no this memory is not nice because my father stepped on, I don't know how you say aplastar, crush, or step on.
Stepped on or crushed?
Step on, crush. And sorry, he threw with the food and he right near my face, so it's awful.
Yeah, like I can totally relate. Cockroaches are, I don't know what's wrong with those animals. They are so disgusting and revolting, you know, especially flying cockroaches. Yeah, cucarachas voladoras, so that's worse. Okay, great. You're talking about a cockroach, right? ¿Sí estás hablando de una cucaracha?
¿Cómo?
Sí, estabas hablando de una cucaracha.
Yes.
Okay, great. Flying cockroaches are worse. Great, Angelica. Thank you very much for having participated. Now let's try with Azucena. Please, let's listen to you.
Hi, good night. Can you hear me well? Yes, good.
Yes.
Well, the most powerful memory in my mind is a day in my childhood. Maybe I was 11 or 12 years old, and we went to Grandpa's house in Rio Negro. in the country. We are spending time with my brother and grandpa, and we go to swim. But he suffered an accident swimming. And in that moment, my body moves like a machine, and I swim very quick to my grandpa's body because he was in problems. And the fun thing is I can swim. I have a very big fear to the water, and I can't swim at all. But the instinct in that moment makes me to do something that in my mind, I can do. In this age, even being an adult, I can swim. And my happiest memory, oh, okay. I saved him, okay, and it's very healthy man now. My happiest memory is in my ninth birthday because my parents had an economic fall and they didn't have money for nothing except food and rent. But they have good friends, and our neighbors made a collect, and I can remember many people have having fun together in my birthday, sharing with their families, and their families are our friends. So there was a very big party, and we are next with loved ones. Basically, that's all.
Yeah, Susana, thank you very much for your participation. I am very surprised at the fact that even though you didn't know how to swim, you still can't swim, you managed to save your grandpa, right? It's amazing how human brains work. They help us in situations like this one. And it just goes without saying that it's a semi-perfect machine. Great, Susana, thank you very much for your participation. Ooh, we're running out of time, but that's okay. Bryant, let's try with you, please, and thank you.
Okay, about my powerful remember, it's when I went for the first time to the beach with my fathers and my grandma. I feel love when I remember the sandcastle that I built in front of the sea and my traveling boat. I felt cool with cap and sunglasses. About the second, um, I was really happy when my little brother was born. And I knew that I was the big brother and I have to take care of him and give tips to him about 14 years ago.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much for having participated and for having shared these experiences with us. Daniela, let's start with you, please. Daniela Sierra.
Well, my answer is very short. What is the most powerful memory you have? Nothing occurred to me, or maybe yes, but it's so personal. So I prefer don't share.
It's okay.
Sorry. And what is the most happiest memories in my life you have? When I start to study at WIS and when I finish my career and more.
Okay, Daniela, thank you very much for your participation. It's okay, don't worry. There are some private things that are private. So, Harold, let's listen to you, please. Yeah, maybe check the volume or maybe try putting the microphone close to your mouth.
Better or
Yeah, okay, that's better. Thank you.
okay. Okay, one of my happiest moments could be when I went to my grandparents' town and I learned and to do different things. For example, things that we are used to doing in the city. For example, sow plants, being with animals, and breeding different birds. And in other hands, and one of the most powerful memories that I have is related with death because I remember that when I was a child, I saw how my neighbor was dying. I remember that her last breath was in front of me. That was so strange. Uh, was a child.
Okay, Harold, thank you very much. It was kind of hard to listen to you at the end. I don't know what happened to the microphone, but I think that you were talking about death, something related with your neighbor, and you witnessed something to happen to your neighbor.
Yeah, I say that when I was a child, I saw how my neighbor
Yeah.
was dying because I was with my father and I was, and we were helping her, and her last breath in front of us, and so I think that that moment is strange for a child of, I don't know, 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. It's strange. Okay, Harold, thank you very much for your participation. Jennifer, it's your turn. Let's try with you, please.
Thank you. The happiest moment in my life when uh, when I went for a Coldplay concert this year. It's an undescribable experience that I had the chance to go with my sister.
Hey, Jennifer, thank you very much. And yes.
Sorry, I have to close my microphone, but I will continue.
Okay.
And the most powerful memory when I was, it's like a little bit traumatic, but when I was 9 years old, I almost got hit by a car.
Okay, but you survived. Great. But it's a very traumatic experience indeed.
Yes.
Something happened to you?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a traumatic experience because I was playing with one of my cousins and I didn't notice that a car was getting so close in the street. So
But you were okay, right?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, but it's very, very, very traumatic experience. Okay, good, Jennifer. Thank you very much. Well, my dear students, unfortunately, we will have to stop here for today, but tomorrow we will listen to the people who didn't get the chance to participate today. Okay, so tomorrow, when we start classes, we will listen to the pending people: John, Carrero, Jordan, Luisa, Mayra, Silvia, Stephanie, Gilbert, Judy, and we will listen to you, Diana, at the beginning of tomorrow's lesson. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for your attention. You will continue at 8 p.m. with Professor Marilyn. You will continue working on Unit 2. That's all from me from today. Thank you so much for your attention and for your participation. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye, teacher.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.